it down. Chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down.
I just appreciate everybody
Damn,
watching.
watch him throw the ball. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on to all my morning trappers? I see you in this thing, Rich. Yes, sir. Hog, I see you in this thing. Good morning to all the morning trappers, man. How everybody feeling? Oh, let me get my music going right quick. Shout it. Hold on 1 second. I know I need the music right quick. Hold on with it. Hold on 2 seconds. Here we go. Yes, sir. Let's get the administrative item out of the way right quick, man. If you are watching live, if you are checking in now, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube, man. It's appreciated. I open this thing up to the Twitter side. If you are looking on Periscope, I'm gonna do you a favor right now. You don't have to comment, or if you do, that's perfectly fine. But the way StreamYard works, I do not see any of your comments on Twitter in the live stream thing. So I appreciate you checking in. I appreciate you interacting if you are. But if you want to be a part of the show, be a part of the comments on YouTube or Twitch, make sure you migrate over there. I will be opening up the show to anybody and everybody who wants to talk Commanders. This is going to be an open show. So definitely appreciate everybody that's checking in. All right. Administrative items are done. Let me get back. Yes, sir. When you hear the music, it's go time, shouting. All right. Hey, look. So, y'all see the title, man. Are you ready for more Carson Wentz? I think obviously that's a little edgy right now, right? But if you were here on the post game show yesterday, I am frustrated, and best believe I am not frustrated to the point where it's like I miss Carson Wentz, right? Kenny, what's going on with you, player? Good morning to all the morning trappers that's just checking in. I'm not frustrated to the point where I miss Carson Wentz. That ain't it. I don't miss Carson Wentz. But we got to remind ourselves that we are in a position with the team where this offense ain't clicking with Taylor. This offense ain't clicking with Carson. But guess who is the highest paid quarterback on his roster? And guess what our record is? 4-5. Washington is still afloat. That means it's going to be go time real soon for Carson Wentz when he's healthy. That game wasn't good, man. That game for Taylor wasn't good. You had one drive. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up right quick, man. Let me help myself out. Yes, yeah. I mean, we definitely had one drive that was successful. All right, boom, here we go. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have 12 drives in the game. We're going to eliminate one of those because one was at the end of the first half, and that was a kneel down. So you have 11 drives in the game. We're going to eliminate the last drive, too, because you ain't scoring with 12 seconds left. So you have 10 drives in the game. Al, too, what's going on with you, player? Good morning. Good morning to all the morning trappers. So you have 10 drives in the game where you could have possibly scored points. You score on 3 of them, right? Your best drive was a 10-play, 78-yard touchdown drive. Out of the first half, you had, out of the first half, so first drive in that third quarter, you have a 2-play, 52-yard drive. We all know that should have been intercepted. It was caught. Credit to Curtis Samuel. Excellent catch. Excellent concentration. I'm not taking nothing away from the receiver on that play. Curtis held it down. So you have 10 plays or 10 drives where you could have scored or could have at least established something. And in your first half, you have a 5-play drive, a 4-play drive, a 4-play drive, 7-play drive, all resulting in punts. You're not establishing anything. You're getting a first down on that first or second down, and then you're stalling. Like, we aren't establishing anything in the first half of games. And this ain't just a Taylor Heineke thing. This is dated back for Taylor and Carson. It's a larger issue. And for all of the weapons that Washington has, right? If you ain't putting up no points, none of that shit matters. Excuse my French on a Monday morning, 7 a.m. That ain't saying that ain't my Steve, but you know what I'm saying? I gotta talk a little bit, you know. But let me go ahead. O-line is garbage. I really like Charles. Sadiq Charles. Oh, I'm tripping. I am tripping. Charles Leno. Oh my goodness. So so Charles Leno is solid. I think solid is I think he's better than average. I think he's like an above average player. And you can win with a guy like Charles Leno, right? I just think that, you know, when you're talking about an offensive line, and on top of that, let's keep in mind he's going up against Darius Smith and he's going up against Danielle Hunter. Those are some top dogs in the NFL. And what happens when you play top dogs in the NFL, you got to understand the talent gap. If Charles Leno, who I believe is an above average player, and you're going up against a good player or a very good player, like somebody who's in another tier than you, you're not going to win majority of those matchups unless you just on one that game and you just on fire. Like everything that you're doing is working. So I just want to make that clear in that I think he's an above average player, but that's besides the point. Kenny, you mentioned that offensive line is garbage. I agree. Like they're honestly the Colts game, you're giving up a lot of pressures in that one. Taylor Heineke does a good job avoiding the pressures. This week, same thing. You're getting a lot of pressures in that regard, but Taylor is getting passes batted. There's a lot of pressure in his face at the time in which he's throwing. And that's really hurting the offense, and that really hurt Washington yesterday. And to that degree, the offensive line really has to improve. And to be honest with you, it's not going to improve during the season. Like, this is the bed that they made. I had said that several times throughout the season. It's the bed that they made in several positions. And certain ones just cannot get fixed during the regular season. Now, it could be like a Band-Aid put on it, right? We'll see what happens when Sam Cosmi comes back, how they're going to, manipulate that. They're going to put him at guard or put him back at tackle. I think what Cornelius Lucas is showing you, sure, he can be playing tackle for like spot duties, but can he hold his own for the remainder of the season? And can you afford to put Sam Cosmi at guard? I would lean yes, but I mean, that's a question that Washington will have to ask and evaluate. But back to this game. Remember, that first half was terrible. And this has happened several occasions this year.
Hey, run that shit up, Chase.
You cannot win like that. And if Taylor Heineke ain't making your team better, like, think about it, bro. I have no personal issue with Taylor. I think they took advantage of they took advantage and had a very good opportunity against the Packers to really establish that ground game, and they did just that. And when you can establish balance like that and you can extend drives and have those effective plays, that's really good. But you're not going to go up against a team like that every single week. Colts game, you saw what happened. You ain't really getting nothing going into the second half until those last two drives. And then obviously today you saw the same thing, essentially. Like a field goal in the first half. It should have been 7-3 still after that first that first drive out of the second into the second half, like it should have been. Things like that. Let me go ahead and continue. Still heated. Alex got that. Heineke got that Alex Smith magic where team majesty plays. Nah, so listen, man. All right, so let's go ahead and get back into. Let me check in with the comments, and we'll go back to that out too. God damn it. What's going on with you, Big Simp? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. If Ron is retained, I want a new OC and DC. Poor timeout management and dumb first penalty cost Taylor a chance to win us that game. Let's be real. We're going to talk about this too. I think there's flaws in your argument. Kenny, Vikings exposed, but the Eagles already know about us. That's going to be a big game. The thing I hold on to is that was the best game we put together. Come on now. Hey, come on, bruh. You must be talking about the defensive side of the football, because them boys was battling. Ben St. Juice, dog. Like, you going up against Justin Jefferson, you're going to take some L's. But again, like what I shared yesterday, how he mentally battled and won on the day was impressive. Like, you know that you may get beat against one of the best guys. They have you traveling. You know how much a team has to believe in you to send you on every single play alignment that Justin Jefferson is lining up at? That is incredible in a good way. I love what Ben St. Juice is doing. You're going to give up some plays against some of the best people in the league. But how do you get your licks back? You know what I'm saying? How you spin that block? Be like, hey, shawty, I'll be right back. Ben St. Juice, bruh, held his own for the most part against Justin Jefferson. I think the bigger thing in that we're going, and I actually talked about this before I got on live, right? That drive where he had the pick six. A lot of people aren't. I mean, of course, you're complaining about the ref, right? I don't think that was a bad call. I really think that was an honest, true call where you can't sit here and say like the refs worked Washington. I mean, the dude is grabbing them at the time that the ball is in the vicinity of Justin Jefferson. He's still being held. Like, it is what it is. Back to my point though. Washington immediately after that sacks Kirk Cousins, and you're in a 2nd and 18. And somehow you give up a 47-yard slot fade to Justin Jefferson. So in the biggest moment, and to my point, it's 2 points. The defense also had opportunities to stop the bleeding. That's the first thing, right? Because this is the drive. Remind you, this is the drive immediately after Washington goes up 17-7. They have an opportunity to stop the bleeding. They give up a 47-yard bomb on, I believe, 3rd down. And you know, everything ensues. But that bomb was on Ben St. Juice. So like in the biggest moment or one of the biggest moments in the fourth quarter, Ben St. Juice gave up a big play. But back to the point, that defense and Ben St. Juice played lights out. That defensive line pressures galore. Kirk Cousins got hit so many times. I'm surprised he was even able to turn up on the plane back home to many. But let's go ahead and keep going. Big Kev, what's going on with your player? Good morning. This team will never go anywhere until we get a new owner and they come in and blow this whole thing up and we start over from scratch. This young talent as an offensive coach, as head coach, offensive coordinator, and DC. Our time management is the most ridiculous thing I've seen. Noel Turner got to go. Jadar has been consistent all year. Big Simp, yes sir. We lit, baby. Good morning to everybody that's checking in. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new, man. If you are on the Twitter side, your comments does not come through on StreamYard. So if you are commenting, I appreciate you. If you want to be a part of the show, make sure you migrate over to Twitch or to YouTube so we can get you on the show. Okay. Defense and special teams were cooking most of that game. That pick six from St. Jude should have stuck. Holding, bro. It was holding. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm just be honest with you, player. In the next 2 years, Ben will be a top 10 corner or a top 5. Mark my words. All right, Sam. We're gonna see, shouting. I like what he's doing though. His development is really good, man. I'm a be in a wait and see situation. But I do like him. Juice Fuller was balling, Payne Allen on smoke. Jamin keeps producing. Curl with the green dot balling. Curl gave up quite a few plays defensively. And I don't think that should go unnoticed. There were some significant moments. Obviously, the Adam Thielen play. Now, granted, Ben St. Juste forced a turnover in the end zone, but Adam Thielen had a big 30 or 40-something yarder reception over top of Curl's head. I don't think he had a good feel for where Adam Thielen was. And maybe he was expecting closer safety help. I don't know, but especially in zone, you got to have those eyes in that field for Thielen. And he kind of was edging between the receiver in front of him and then Thielen that was right behind him. Please take Milne off punt returns. He ain't good. He had one good return this week. I give him credit for that. But for the most part, like, you have a 9-game sample size. You say holding, I see Ramsey grabbing like that all the time. No calls. I agree, but they were both pushing each other. Jamin on oh Lord Jesus, Hulk. No, you ain't gotta apologize, bro. We talking. That's your opinion. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's go ahead and get back to the quarterback, right? Matter of fact, hold on, give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds, shouting. Okay. All right. So where are we at? Let me go back to. Oh, let's go ahead and line them up. My bad. Line them up. Shout it. If you want to join the show, you absolutely can this morning. I'm gonna keep the comment. I mean, the YouTube link is in the description or the chat. If you want to join that, just click it. You good? We're gonna go ahead and bring you up this thing. Back to the quarterback thing. All right, where we at? Okay, right here. And this is the crux of the conversation for today's morning show. That dumb penalty, I'll continue to stand on this, was very dumb. It was very bad. John Ridgeway, very bad. But you want to know how fickle the fan base is, bruh? Right? Al2, this is not about you. Because you didn't say anything negative about John Ridgeway, except for the fact that it was a dumb penalty. And that's true. That's very accurate. It was a bad penalty. You can't have it. But the fan base and most people, I come across this on Twitter. I said this yesterday. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. Well, it ain't going to be hard to find this one. Where is it at? Okay, here we go. Ridgeway made a crucial mistake, right? But please understand that this game did not come down to his penalty. I also stated that I think most people know this. And then I followed up with I hope people know this. Here's my thing, man. Everybody all of a sudden dislikes Ridgeway. And I exaggerated, not everybody. But there are plenty of fans now who all of a sudden dislikes Ridgeway. I even seen the good man B. Mitch, and I'm assuming he's talking about Ridgeway because of at the time in which he tweeted this. He said, "Cut his ass," and I'm assuming he's talking about John Ridgeway because of what happened. There's nobody else you would say that at 4 p.m. when you tweet that to cut his ass. A very emotional response. And that's not just from B-Mitch, that's from everybody who was talking negatively about Ridgeway. You got to understand, he made a terrible mistake that Washington ultimately could not recover from. And we're going to talk about this one thing and then expound out, all right? For all of the good that Ridgeway has brought to this team defensively, especially in the run game, one mistake is going to kick him off this team? You mean to tell me that they're going to find a scapegoat in John? If they did cut John Ridgeway, I would be mad. That is the dumbest thing that you can do. You're going to cut John Ridgeway, or you're going to cuss out John Ridgeway for people who's on Twitter cussing him out. I seen somebody, I actually legitimately responded to somebody. He said, You give Heineke Magic 2 minutes to go get a field goal or a touchdown. I'm taking that every day out of the week. Fuck Ridgeway. Hope they cut his ass before he gets to the locker room. You want to get rid of John Ridgeway off of one play. Never mind the fact that you solidified or helped solidify the run defense up front in the middle, playing the 0 tech, 1 tech, however they want to use you, allowing the other players to be successful in terms of pass rushing and making plays outside of the guards.
Hey, run that shit up, Chase.
Ridgeway is your scapegoat. He ain't the reason why Washington lost. He was one of the final reasons why Washington couldn't overcome a 20-17 deficit or even win the game in terms of late second decisions. But guess what? Washington had a 17-7 lead. And now we circle back to Taylor Heineke. It cost Taylor a chance to win that game. Let's not elude the fact that Taylor Heineke had several overthrows, right? He had a touchdown that should have been an interception if it wasn't for the referee, right? Can't ignore that. We can't ignore the fact that he threw an interception on an overthrow. We can't ignore the fact that Washington went 3 and out immediately after the interception and after Minnesota Vikings scored a touchdown. You gave the ball right back to Minnesota after they tied the ball game up. You went 3 and out. Oh, here, my bad play. I ain't mean to. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to really win this game. You know what I'm saying? I was just messing with you first three quarters. I was just playing, bro. Here, I'm handing you the game. I don't want no parts of this. I don't want no parts of this. There were several reasons for why Washington couldn't win, and it starts at the quarterback position first and foremost, and then we talk about coordinator Scott Turner, and then we talk about Ron Rivera. And that's why when you look at all of these things in totality, you can't sit here and convince me that they're thinking about Sam Howell at this point. If you were 2-6, if you were 2-7 or 3-6 or 1-8, maybe you're talking about Sam Howell because the season is absolutely over. But they still in this thing. And Taylor Heineke ain't doing no better than what Carson Wentz was doing. So why would they sit here and say, why not give him a chance or not give him a chance? Like, they're going to be convinced that Carson Wentz has learned a lot since he's been gone. Let's not ignore the fact that he was warming up this past Sunday in the morning, the pregame. He was warming up. He was trying to get that finger together. Come on now, player. Let me go ahead and get back down. I've been critical. Canadian, what's going on with you, player? Good morning. I've been critical of Turner all year, and he deserves some of the blame, but he was scheming guys open. Taylor and Carson had missed them all year. That penalty didn't even annoy me. It happens. The thing that pissed me off is we couldn't execute a basic lateral package at the end of the game. Hey, if he got out of bounds, we had a chance for a Hail Mary. Now, I'm not blaming Antonio Gibson. He tried to get out of bounds. I'm just saying, if he got out of bounds, you have like 3 seconds left and you have a chance for a Hail Mary. Oh, I was talking about this one and realized I had Canadian Dad Joan up. Nanaki, appreciate you checking in. Ron and Scott. What have they been doing during the week? That's interesting. It's funny because like certain thing, like another thing like that draw, I don't have an issue with that draw. I think it was a good changeup. I think that at 3rd and 9, you can maybe sit here and say, let's save this for like a 3rd and 5. But the way that Washington executed it, they could have ran it at 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 2, and it wouldn't have worked. Nobody was sold on the fact that it was a pass play. They read run all the way. You got nothing out of that play. So I think it's an execution part. And for your point, Al, too, what is Scott doing during the week? Like, if you're going to use that call and if you're going to use it on 3rd and 9, bro, you have to make sure that all your players are on point. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you exactly what all went wrong when I don't have the ability to rewatch it again in terms of like the all 22 or film. I don't know. But you can tell for them to get a 2-yard gain on a QB draw on 3rd and 9, that shit ain't work. Marcus, good morning with you, player. What's up? He said, "What's up, bro? Yeah, it's a dumb penalty. The winner fans going to hold Taylor." Hey, and that's where I'm getting at. That's what I'm trying. Hey, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you can't talk about Ridgeway as if he's the scapegoat. You can't do it. You can't do it. Like, he ain't the scapegoat. This game and this loss is the bot. And to be honest with you, if you want to be really critical, if you want to be technical, the defense played good for essentially 3 quarters, but you allowed 2 double-digit play drives. You allowed, it was 9 plays. 9 plays on the field goal, and then 12 plays on the go-ahead field goal. And I say 12 plays because remember, Ridgeway's penalty gave them the extra 3 plays. So in total, it was a 15-play, 44-yard drive. But you allowed 12 plays for 44 or 40-something yards, right? That's y'all. 12 plays. So if you want to be really critical, Washington still had an opportunity to get off the field in these situations. So Marcus, to your point, yes, I'm 100% in agreement with you. We gotta understand that Taylor Heineke is like, and you know what's funny too? Hey Hawk, by the way, I see you. We're gonna bring you up in a second. I actually meant to lead off with this and I got distracted. There are people covering this team. This ain't no disrespect to anybody. I'm not saying that. It's just an observation. We all listen to podcasts. We all listen or watch YouTube and stuff like that. And we all listen to people who are actually beat reporters who cover this team and who has boots on the ground. But there are actually people who cover this team that legitimately is surprised at how Heineke is performing. And I'm like, not like statistically, what has changed that suggests you? Now, I do want Jahan Dotson back. I really want to see Taylor Heineke with an opportunity to perform with Jahan Dotson on the field. He is a playmaker. I want to see Cole Turner on the field. He is a playmaker. Carson Wentz had that opportunity. And he wasn't producing nothing. But my point is, I want to see Taylor with those players. Those are critical players for the passing game, in my opinion. But to this point, and back to my point, because I keep getting distracted. You're surprised with how Taylor Heineke is producing. Like what has he shown you, like over this year and a half, that he can put up 400 yards a game and 20, 25, 26 points a game. Like, that has never been Taylor Heineke. That has never been any offense under Scott Turner in Washington. So for him to, like, that moxie stuff, like, that moxie and resiliency and all that stuff, y'all got to understand, Taylor Heineke is looking like Tim Tebow. Yeah, that sounds wild, right? But listen, you're talking about, think about Tim Tebow. When did his offense and when did the Broncos offense always come alive? It came alive at the end of a game. That's what it did. That's just the truth of the matter. I didn't say Taylor is literally a clone of Tebow, but this offense under Taylor Heineke performs and operates like Tebow. Like, it comes alive at the end of a game. And you know what the problem is? Peyton Manning inherited that same offense, and they became a top 5 offense in the NFL the very next year. Understand that Taylor is a backup. Understand that, none of this moxie stuff, none of this resiliency, none of this the players love him thing will translate into a win on the field. They do have belief and they love Taylor, right? So they're going to fight for him on the field. but skill is skill. And that's the most important thing. Skill is skill. Let me go ahead and catch up with some of the comments, and we're going to bring the good man Hawk on. Yes, he messed up, but didn't lose the game. Somebody in the booth needs to be talking about Ron. Hey, Ron, hold on, player. Hey, this ain't it for you. You want them to yell at you again in the media? Don't do it. Don't you do it. Heineke had 2 people open when he threw that interception. Yes, he did. Cornelius, Peace Crab, what's going on with you, player? Good morning. Appreciate you checking in. For everybody that's checking in just now, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you are new to the Trapper Dive side, man, appreciate y'all checking in. If you are on Twitter, I open this up to Twitter as well. If you are watching on Twitter and you want to be a part of the show, make sure you migrate over to YouTube or Twitch, man, so you can be a part of it. If you want to call in as well, same thing. Make sure you migrate over there so you can be a part of it. Definitely appreciate you looking in nonetheless. Okay. Alex Smith wasn't doing much either, but was 5-1 versus 2-8. We can't sleep on the fact that Heineke's 7. Stop it! Stop that! Stop it! Alex, you about to make me pop a blood vessel, bruh. Stop it. Come on, bruh. Like, for real, though. Yeah, he got a good record, man. But how is he winning? How's the team been winning? Was it on the back of Taylor Heineke, or was it the fact that they identified the right way to manage an offense under Taylor and the defense? Like, Ron's time management was awful. Alex, appreciate you checking in. We don't challenge downfield enough defenders. Please, Commanders, fight tooth and nail to get Lamar. Payne needs an extension ASAP. Yes, but defense can do so much. That's a fact. I am not disagreeing with that. And trust me, I said if I technically wanted to be very critical, we can criticize the defense. So make no mistake, the defense played a really good game. They were strong. They were solid throughout the 90% of the game. I want to make sure that's clear. But you are not wrong. The defense can do but so much. Unless we trade one of Sweat, Payne is the best that they had. Tag Payne, let him test. Let Sweat test free agency. Sweat gonna. Now we do have an option. Remember, Sweat has the 5th-year option, and we don't have to make a decision on him until next year. Like, meaning the end of 2023. Tebow put that Broncos position on audition, and Peyton said, "Give me that." Like, who? All right, so who's gonna be available in the offseason this year? Hey, Geno Smith is out there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want another bridge option? That'll hold it down until, you know, the new owner says, "Hey, Ron, it's time for you to go, shawty." 4 o'clock managing bad talent off the first head coach the team. It don't have to be because of Taylor. It could elevate their play and him understand the wins or wins, and they're hard to come by around these parts. That's a fact. Let's go ahead and get the good man Hawk in this thing, man, on this good Monday morning. I'll go ahead and send the invite once again to anybody and everybody that wants to come up and talk some ball, all things Commanders, man. The floor is yours. This is an open show. Let's get the good man Hawk in this thing right quick. Let me cut the music off for a second. There we go. Let's add another screen in here. There we go. Let's get the good man Hawk in this thing. There we go. Hawk, good morning, man. How you feeling, boss, man?
Man, doing great, man. Hey, Marley Ball, man. We out here, man. Coach Ball, Henny Ball, man. Shout out to the Trappers, man. We out here.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the Trappers, dog. How you feeling, man?
Oh, man, you know what? And look at it, man. On a Monday morning, man, it's another grind, man. I'm just on my way to work, man. But I had to go ahead and pull over, man, and go ahead, you know, just
hey, that's love, bro.
Yeah, man. I had to go ahead, man. You know, honestly, man, before I go in this office, man, I had to go ahead and talk ball with you, man. Cause let me tell you something. What I saw, it was good effort. You know what I'm saying? You know, at times, and then ultimately, the end result is the end result, right? And starting off with this, Coach Ron Rivera, he has a losing record for challenges, right? So as it stands right now,
I think he 1-4, right?
You're right, 1-4. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, AJ said that on yesterday's stream. So right then and there, that should let the fan base know that there should be no surprise that as it stands currently, that we has a losing record. Why? Because our coach is 1-4 in the challenges, and so clearly there has to be some type of that there has to be some type of correlating effect as far as like LeBron's challenges and our overall record. You know what I mean? And it's that challenge was boneheaded. Matter of fact, real quick, man. I was on Protech stream, and Protech alluded. He alluded to the fact that that interception that Heineke threw, that was the major cause that as to why we lost the game. And I'm like, nah, man, that was just one reason though. Yes, it was poor timing for that turnover, but I'm like, you know what? It's so many reasons why we lost that game, and I point to Scott Turner. You know what I mean? And Coach Ron Rivera's devout faith in Scott Turner to go ahead and play is and call plays, because I'm like, Joe, like this man, I don't care. Like whether it was Carson Wentz in there or Taylor Heineke.
Mm-hmm.
He can't call plays for nothing. 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 I just be like, Joe, like how in the world did he how in the world did he draw up some type of how did he draw up some interest years back for him to possibly be a head coach? I'm like, I can't see it. I can't see it.
It's an interesting question, man. I think that one of the bigger things that we also aren't talking about, like, you have 24 carries for 80 yards with your running backs, right? Now, granted, they clearly attempted to establish some balance, and I'm not taking that away from Scott Turner. Yeah. But I think the field, and to be honest with you, you know what? Now that I'm actually talking out loud, it never dawned on me to bring up this point, and I knew this for some time now. Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, and Curtis Samuel, for that matter. I don't know how it works for Curtis Samuel. And to be honest with you, I don't know how it works under this regime. But a lot of people forget that, the running backs coach plays a lot in terms of like the rotation as well. Like they send the running backs in, as far as I know. And again, I don't know how it works under Washington, Scott Turner, and things like that. But the running backs coach, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. He's been here for several regimes. But yeah, Randy Jordan. Like they are responsible for the rotation, and they go by field and things like that. And I'm gonna try to like dig up the quotes, because he actually spoke, I think, either this offseason or last offseason. I'm gonna try and find it. But to that point, 13 carries for B-Rob and 11 for Antonio Gibson, and it seemed like we all knew who was the one that was in the rhythm the most, and that was Antonio Gibson. Like at some point, you have to try to understand. There's two. If you're gonna run the ball 30 times like you did, you had 4 carries for Taylor Heineke, so essentially 26 handoffs, 24 designed handoffs for your running backs. You have to, or I guess 25 if you want to include Curtis. Like you have to understand who the hot hand is too, and for some reason, like there's always been some instability in terms of like the feel for or flow for a game. And I don't know, like I think the running backs coach is playing a part in this, and for some reason we have never brought up Randy Jordan's name. And so I'm interested to see like how this whole run game is here, because clearly Scott Turner is trying to establish some balance. But there is no running back between Robinson, Gibson, or even JD McKissick to that point, or for that you can sit here and say, all right, we got a hot hand right now. Let's work him. Let's get him 20, 22 carries. And we'll worry about the rest later.
Facts, man. I mean, it's just I know that they want to go ahead and like give I know that they want to give Brian Robinson, touches and things like that. You know what I mean? I know that he came into the offseason as far as like someone that didn't fumble a lot in college and things like that. And to this point, he really hasn't fumbled. Knock on wood in the pros. So like as of right now, he's doing his thing. But as you pointed out weeks ago, sometimes his vision and his patience, they just not at that pro level yet. You know what I mean? And so from what I've been seeing from Gibson, man, if we don't lock him up soon, man, far like signing him up to a long-term contract. If we don't sign Gibson soon, because honestly, the game, honestly, his runs, and trust me, believe I've been critical as far as like him turning the ball over. But if we don't lock him up, man, because when he's Like when Gibson is on, he's on, and it's gotten to the point where I'm looking at it like, yo, put Antonio Gibson on the Philadelphia Eagles. Watch they win the
Oh
Super Bowl.
Lord Jesus, don't do
Watch
that.
they win the Super Bowl. You
Don't
know
do
what I'm
that,
saying?
player.
And look, Maul, I'm just saying because it wouldn't be the first time that one of our former players, signs with a division rival and then they just take off. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be the first time. And honestly, the way the league has, the way the league has been trending, it's not popular to go ahead and pay running backs. You know what I mean? So if they don't lock him up and he goes to, like I said, I got him going to the Eagles if he doesn't re-sign with us. Man, it's curtain calls for us for a while. That's all I'm gonna say on that one. Curtain calls.
I hope you're looking at my face right now because I'm thoroughly disappointed in where this conversation has led.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, man. I be thinking about it. I be like,
No.
man.
No.
Yeah, man.
But nah, it's interesting. Yeah. And this, oh damn, I was about to, hey Tone, I saw you. I was about to add you in this thing to the conversation. If you come back, we'll definitely get you in here with Hawk and myself.
Man.
This was interesting, man, because like we talked about Scott, and let me actually add because I see a couple comments in here we can add to the conversation. Rich, I see you. Good morning, boss man. He said play calling is spotty at best. Several head scratching going on Thursday. Keith said we also need to stop running the ball out of shotgun. Let the running back pick his hole instead of just handing him the ball and expecting to find the hole. Yeah. Gibson is a weapon we are not using the back correctly. We need more multi-back sets. I think. Okay, because I was like, who the hell? Yeah, I think that this all. I mean, there's a lot of ways to skin the cat, so to speak. I don't really have an issue with the shotgun carries. Like those are effective. It is what it is. Like that's no big deal to me. I just think like the way they choose to run, like you don't have like a good changeup would be getting Brian Robinson on the outside zone or something like that, or having Antonio Gibson, like on one drive, you give them like 5 carries, 3 of those are inside zone or powers or traps or something like that. Like that's a good changeup, and it doesn't matter if you run those out of power or under center. But I do agree with like the looks that you can provide. I think multi-back sets is important. I think if you can have like a JD McKissick eventually, like if he's healthy, I don't know, like that neck injury is from what I heard from the reporters, I guess is a little bit more serious than anything else. So who knows? But if you can have an Antonio Gibson or Brian Robinson multi-back set in that backfield, and you have a way that you can manipulate defenses from that aspect, you have two running backs out there, 3 receivers. You can run your play actions, or you can run your RPOs, or you can run like a variety of looks out of that backfield and that formation that creates stress on the defense. Like I think one of the things that was really good for this offense was how they utilized their running backs in the first game. Like that, like you sent Antonio Gibson on a 3rd level route out of the backfield, and he was able to execute that and Carson Wentz was accurately giving him the ball on that play. Like, and you really haven't ran that look since. Same thing with that quads. Like you never came back to it. Like, was that the only play that you had? Like, I understand sometimes coordinators save like certain things for later down the line, but look, this is 8 weeks in between since you ain't ran it. Like 8 weeks. It's taking you this long to pull it back out. Come on, bro.
Yeah, facts. I mean, you know what? It's one of the things where I look at it like, you know what? You got teams out there that to ultimately use multi-back sets or even the I formation with the fullback, right? You got, the team up the road, Baltimore. Pat Ricard, one of the best fullbacks out here. You got San Francisco, you know what I'm saying, the Patriots that run the rock. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the fullback. Well, what is it? That I formation offense or that strong eye, weak side, whatever you know what I'm saying, type of offense, bro. It can be successful out here, and it's like, as a matter of fact, you know what? And to Wash's credit, we got a fullback, Alex Arma. So it's like use that man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Tell that man, go ahead and man, look at man, and look, you're going to be in the play. We need you. You know what I'm saying? To go ahead, block your heart out for Antonio Gibson. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, Armani Rogers and things like that. And you know what? And just it will a point to piggyback. I want to say that you said it as far as like the type of tight ends that we have. They're not really strong blockers. You know, I mean, what outside of John Bates? I mean, Amari Rogers tries, Cole Turner tries. Yeah, I mean, even Logan Thomas tries, but they not, they not like block. Excuse me, they not Gronk level. Excuse me.
Oh yeah,
You
hey,
know,
no, hey, for sure. That's the thing. Like, you're first
you know
off,
what I mean?
it even goes beyond that. Like, listen, you got Cole Turner. He ain't like, of course, they're putting him in line. They're forcing him to block. He's stepping up in terms of his effort. But there's still a lot to be desired. Logan Thomas, same thing. First off, they're using him to block, but his effort is ass. He is not a good blocker. He's not a good run
No,
blocker. And then obviously John Bates is the best one that you can trust. Even to that point, and what I was about to bring up, I don't know why they continue to use Dax Mill in line or basically in that tight split where he's basically right next to the offensive tackle and they're asking him to get nasty in the box. And I'm like, you have one of the lighter receivers on your team in there blocking instead of using a Cam Sims.
exactly.
Or even De'Ami Brown who gets dirty in the run game. Like, come on, you can use, like, I understand like it may be a tendency thing and you don't want to give up your tail, but bro, if you want to run the ball and your intent is running the ball on this play, regardless of what the defense is doing, get your best people in position to do it. Like, you don't have to waste time trying to be cute. Dax Mill is not gonna. He is not. You do not trust. I know you do not trust that man to get the block done.
Not at
Come on
all.
now. So
Not
to
at
your
all.
point, like those tight ends, there's things to be desired, and obviously Dax Mill and using him in the position that they do to be desired. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Now I think that's just one aspect of it. It's hard to sit here and criticize like the actual passing plays like after a game because for me, I don't think any of us can really see what they're trying to accomplish on every single pass play. But I do think the inability to convert on third downs, it ultimately goes beyond just player execution, and I think that's kind of another thing where, like, if you can really get down to the nitty gritty or like the finite details of why this offense continuously isn't able to sustain drives on third down, it may be the case that Scott Turner isn't dialing up his best play, and or he doesn't have a true feel for how to outsmart the defensive coordinator who's prepping for his third down, meaning Scott Turner's third down offense. Like, I remember, I'll never forget, like that first third down that Washington ran, is something that they always run. Is like the mesh concepts where you have
Exactly.
the two crossers in Minnesota read that shit to a T. Like,
Man,
that
yep.
that is a problem. And it's not something that's uncommon with Washington's offense. It's something that they do all the time. 757, I see you, big dog. He says De'Ami's inconsistent. I think that's a fair criticism of him, but I just want to make it be known when we talk about De'Ami, I'm talking about the run game. So I think that's kind of what we were talking about with the run blocking and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where I'm at, Hawk, in terms of like that. Like it does go beyond just outside of the run game. It's other aspects where you're like, what exactly is the flaw in Scott Turner? And third downs is a big indicator, especially if you aren't converting consistently every single game. That is a big indicator that it's not just the players. It's really a lot to do with your tendencies and how defenses are able to prepare for you.
Yeah, facts, man. Facts, man. And you know what? It's overall. It's like you know what? Yo, that first half was so anemic. You know what I'm saying? 3 points, bro. I'm sorry, man. We cannot continue to just score points predominantly in the second half of games. We can't. We just, it's just Scott. Scott Turner, aka Scotty T, man, aka I'm my daddy's son, bro. Bro, man, you gotta. Yo, man. Honestly, man, just watching the offense, it just drives me up a wall, man. And ball, man, to kind of bring it over to the defense a little, man. Jamin Davis is really becoming one of my favorite players, man.
I like to
Jamin
hear it.
Davis, Jamin Davis, man. Let me tell you something. That boy. I mean, yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. I know I was hard. I know a lot of people in this fan base was hard on him and things like that. And heck, even your own coaches were hard on you. You know what I mean? I mean, Scott Turner came out there, and then Jamin Davis went and tweeted what he tweeted, and after that, that boy been balling, man. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know what? It's got to the point with me, I don't even care about Michael Parsons no more. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I stopped caring about Michael Parsons a long time ago. So I was like, all right, you know what? They got Michael, but you know what? That boy Jamin, he coming on strong. You know what I mean? He coming on strong.
Yeah, I like how Jamin is moving to this point. And I don't think he's been perfect in games
No.
but I do think, I'm not saying, and I don't want to sit here and say that anybody who's a fan of Jamin right now is saying that he has been perfect, but I think he's approaching the point, and I don't think he's there just yet. I want to see more out of him, but I think he's approaching the point where he went from a person who seemed lost and slow on the field in terms of dissecting and identifying schemes, run schemes, or pass concepts. He went from a person who looked lost to a person who is becoming a solid contributor to a defense. If I'm not mistaken, he's leading the league. That was a mistake. He's leading the team, if not second on the team in tackles. He's actually third in terms of total tackles, behind Cam Curl by one tackle. Matter of fact. And then same thing in terms of solo tackles, he's third behind Holcomb and Cam Curl. So like he's doing a really good job developing into a solid contributor for a defense. And then ultimately in year 2, that's good to see. And he's only 24, and you're hoping that as year 3 comes along, he continues his development in terms of from being a solid contributor to a playmaker. And hopefully things start clicking, and maybe he becomes a playmaker towards the tail end of this season and it carries over. But like I think development comes in all shapes, shape, forms, and sizes or whatever. And to see Jamin start from where he started is probably like the best thing, because you can see his growth in real time, like knowing where he started to where he is now, and showing like that is a form of character as well. It's not just the person that's playing good. Like that's a character trait, a person who doesn't quit on himself, but understands that, you know, this isn't going to be easy. And that can make a better player better than what anybody anticipated.
Man, you know what, to describe his development, you know what I'm saying? And you know what, and you might appreciate this. It's almost, matter of fact, well, essentially this is Dragon Ball Z reference. It's almost like Jamin rookie season. He he was just in his regular base form, but then he went and upgraded to the what is it to the Kaioken level. He not full Jamin is not full Super Saiyan linebacker, but he got the Kaioken linebacker. You know what I'm saying? And that's,
Hey, look,
I appreciate that.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Hulk. You were talking to all the Dragon Ball Z fans that's in the chat, because I have no clue. My dad was a Dragon Ball Z fan.
Bro,
it skipped
on,
me.
Man.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I didn't watch, but it was like when I watched it, I wasn't like drawn in to the point where I can just sit here and watch weekly. I definitely watched it, but I ain't know what the hell I was watching. I knew the big guys. I knew Vegeta. I said Vegeta. Vegeta, Goku.
Vegeta,
one of them had a little kid. I don't know.
Gohan.
Yeah, Gohan. You know what I'm saying? I knew a couple things, but I knew the dude with the I think Vegeta is the dude with the tail.
Yeah.
I know a little bit, but I'm saying the other people you talking to the chat right now, Shawty. I don't know nothing about nothing. Hey, Hard, talk to me, man. What else you got on your mind with these boys?
Yeah, man. All right. So look. Aside from Jamin Davis, honestly, man, Deron Payne. Go ahead and pay that man. Go ahead, pay Deron Payne. Honestly, him and Jonathan Allen are start. They've been balling together, man. It's almost like you know what, what was last year. Last year they had the scrap. You know what I'm saying? Last year on national television. That's still an embarrassing thing, but heading into this year, our defensive line, bro, they balling. It's just I'm a still need for Montez, name that song from Keith Sweat, to go ahead and bro, I'm gonna need him to go ahead, really act like, bro, I am a player. I'm a first round pick, but not only am I a first round pick, bro, Look, look, I'm damn near good to go on for at least 15 to 17 sacks a season or something. I need it from him or whenever Chase comes back, and hopefully Chase comes back next game, and you know what I'm saying,
That'd be big if he can come back Monday night.
I mean, bro, we gonna need Chase. Heck, we might need Carson Wentz to go ahead and just say, look, man, you played here before, just go ahead and come back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
Look, he guaranteed to miss at least next week. So unfortunately, he ain't playing Philly this year, and it's possibly a lone season in Washington. He ain't playing Philly in Philly at all. So because he had the minimum of 4 games on his IR stint. So he about to miss that. But to your point, man, I agree. Actually, it's a complex situation. I think that you can afford to pay Daron Payne, and I think you can afford to pay Montez Sweat because they aren't required to be paid in the same year. So you can try to do a workaround on that. But that's one thing. The second thing is, I got 3 things because the third thing just popped into my head. The second thing is, what do you value more? Do you value an edge rusher more, or do you value an interior pass rusher? Because both of these guys, and this ain't the more I understand like how people are developing in the offseason or just general football, it obviously like a contract year is a motivating factor, right? And I don't want to like completely ignore that. But I think the way that Daron Payne has been playing has been a product of what he's been learning this offseason and has been developing throughout portions of off seasons throughout his career. It's just finally coming together in a good way. But then you look at Montez Sweat, a guy who's performing well as well. And I always say, because I want to emphasize the fact that they are getting pressures, they are winning, and getting quarterback hits and even getting sacks. I want to emphasize that. But I think like my thing and what I've always continued to harp on, and hopefully this message is coming through clearly, has always been about like one-on-ones. Like, are these guys winning their one-on-ones? This is excluding Jonathan Allen, who has consistently shown that he can win his one-on-one pass rushes. Like, it doesn't matter if he's going up against top-tier talent, average talent, below average talent, he's dominating. But then you look at Daron Payne and you look at Montez Sweat. The same is not the case is not the same for these guys. And again, I'm emphasizing one-on-one opportunities. They aren't necessarily beating people who are above their level or perceivably above their level or at their level. They're taking advantage of like the lower tier in one-on-one situations. They're taking advantage of the lower tier guys. And I think that's always been my thing is like, you have to evaluate that as well. Obviously you can work schemes in terms of like line games, the stunts, the twists, like the pressure looks in terms of trying to get a free man or free rusher to the quarterback. Those are all important in an overall aspect, but I think the evaluation can also come down to, do you trust this guy to win in a one-on-one situation in a big moment for a game? That's who I'm going to give my money to. And that's where things get muddy for me, Hawk, with these guys. It's not that they aren't good players. It's like, who do you trust in crunch time? And to be honest with you, the only person I can say that I trust right now is still only Jonathan Allen.
Jonathan Allen. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. It's one of them things where, not to talk bad about this person, but, it's one of them things where, like, was the stuff that Sam Mills was teaching, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? To Montez and to Daron Payne. You know what I'm saying? Was was Sam Mills teaching them wrong, and they just practice those bad habits, you know what I mean, for so long, and it's like now it's like you get a year of Warren Sapp and things like that. Now all of a sudden, oh man, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like night and day, you know what I mean? Or is it solely the fact that, or is it a combination of the fact that it's Warren Sapp, and it's a contract year. I'm trying to get paid, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know what? If you was that dude, you know what I'm saying? To your point, Maul, if you was that dude, where was all that from your rookie season all the way to your second and third years in the league? You know what I mean? Cause I will say both guys, both Payne and Sweat, they have been consistently inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, but based off this year solely though, I've seen a lot more good. I've seen more good in Payne as opposed to Montez Sweat. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we will, man. Big game next week, Monday night. Big game
Yeah.
for Washington. Big game for Taylor Heineke. Big game for Ron Rivera. And again, I said this yesterday. This ain't necessarily a must win because you're going up against an undefeated team. But like you have to show some level of competency from your players and from the coaching side. Like, how do you prepare your team for this game? How do you manage in-game situations? How does your players respond to what you've been trying to instill in them throughout this course this week, November 7th through November 12th? Like, how does your players incorporate that into like their approach on Monday night, and how do they execute it? That's all the semblance of the players executing. That's all the semblance of the coaches preparing them for this moment on Monday Night Football, where all eyes are on you once again. And I think that's why this is a very big game for these guys. Not that it should be a must win. Obviously, a win is important for Washington. Obviously, a win is the goal. But from an outside looking in standpoint, it's not about the win. It's a defining moment for how you looked over that 3-game win streak. Like, was it fluke, or did you take advantage of poor teams, or was it a instance where it's like there's something here? This is something legitimate. We just had bad luck against the Minnesota Vikings. And we'll see.
Yeah, Maul. Maul. You know what? Just to give you a little pushback on that, I say this is a cold red game. This is a cold red game, man.
Let me hear it.
Yeah. Hey, bro. All right. Check it out, man. So for one, knowing our history, you know what I'm saying? Knowing the Washington football history, given the Monday Night Massacre that we suffered at the hands of these people, all right? Combine that with the fact that right now you're 4-5, you lose this game. Excuse me. You potentially lose this game. You're 2 games under 500, right? But if you win this game, you're back at 500, all right? So add that to the fact that you know what, you can be back on the winning side of 500. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward, and you knock off a division rival. You know what I'm saying? Off their undefeated status. You know what I'm saying? And they whooped y'all at y'all place. You know what I'm saying? These Bammers took 20 buses. It was 20 buses of Philly fans. They said, yo, we about to pack the stadium. Now, we know good and well that Washington fans, we don't travel. We don't travel at all like that. You know what I'm saying? We're not taking 20 buses, you know what I'm saying, to go up to New York, Dallas, or Philly. No, we ain't doing that.
We got people in the chat agreeing with you. All right, cold red. I see it. Talk to me, Hulk. Finish your point. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? This is a cold red game. So it's like, so again, knowing the fact that we're predominantly the Philly stadium is going to be all green. You know what I'm saying? Just like it was here in Washington. You know what I'm saying? You got all of that going against you. You know what I'm saying? And again, you win this game, you 5-5, and you put the first L on the Eagles. It's a cold red game, man. You know
hey, that's low key hilarious. You ain't even notice it. I know you didn't, but it's low key hilarious because that man Hawk said it's gonna be all green in the stadium, just like it was in Washington. I'm like, God damn, we ain't even had no home game. We got 2 road games against Philly, bro. That shit's crazy.
It was 2 road games, man. Look. One of them games was just played here in Landover, Maryland. The other one just you know what I'm saying, it's up in Philly, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way in the world that we gonna let TJ Hawkinson sweep us and the Eagles, bro. You know what I'm saying? Wow, it's likely. Bro. Maul, it's likely, but again, this right here, it's a cold red game. They need to go ahead. They need to. Honestly, it would behoove Scott Turner, especially, bro. Bro, if he got head coaching aspirations, it would behoove you to go ahead and call a game plan to go ahead and take advantage of some of those weaknesses in the Philadelphia Eagles, defense. I don't know what those are because them boys coming. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully he's doing his due diligence. Hopefully Carson Wentz is doing his due diligence and saying, Fletcher Cox tendencies is this, or Brandon Graham's tendencies is that. You know what I mean? Just it will behoove them all. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean. Matter of fact, and my man Magga Jack, go ahead, you keep doing your thing, Magga Jack. Keep doing your thing as a DC out here, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But Scott Turner, bro, you can't afford to fail, man. He can't. He can't. Not on this one, man. It's cold red, man. You know, hey man, look, it's Jay Gruden all over again. It's cold red. You know what I'm saying?
Oh Lord! All right. Well, last thing. When we get up out of here, Corey, I see you in this thing. Appreciate you checking in. Said Scott Turner is the Jesus Christ, worst mistake of football. That's the energy you bringing this morning, bro. Hey, that's hilarious. What was I about to say? Oh, code red. So what does the code red mean in terms of if they lose? Like if it's code red, there has to be a consequence to losing, right?
Oh yeah. Well, the consequence
it gotta be.
Yeah. No. The consequence would be, obviously Scott Turner's job could possibly be in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, I doubt it. But the long term consequence is, whomever the incumbent owner is, unfortunately, it won't be the Hawk Group featuring Protect Sports and a Travel Down podcast. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man? 'Cause we all still, hey, man, look at man, we all still working on that $1 billion capital. But nah, man.
Yeah,
but like,
I'm trying, dog.
Man, I'm trying, man. I'm telling you, man. But whomever comes in as that new owner, I'm sorry, yo. They gotta look at it all, be like, look here, man. Like, Ron, you know what? I appreciate your service, but I want my own guys in here. Just like, you know what I'm saying? Just like how you said, just like how you brought your guys in here, I want my guys in here. I'm sorry, I'm relinquishing you of your duties. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just
God bless.
Yeah, man. God bless. May God bless. You know what I'm saying?
All right. I see. So he said consequences. Scott Turner relinquishing his play calling duties.
There you go.
Okay. Washington football checked in. Appreciate you checking. He said, "Good mother of God. I hope Carson Wentz doesn't play again this season." Matter of fact, that may be a consequence. Part of the consequence if that offense looks bad. And that's kind of the whole crux of this show this morning. If this offense looks bad again, especially against Philly, again, it's a hard task. I'm not sitting here saying you have to look elite, put up 400 yards, 30 points, but you got to look somewhat confident. You got to establish some drives, and if you can't establish anything again, I think that's the crux of this thing. Like you're going to look at this offense and say, we got to go back with our guy. He's healthy now. Yeah. We got to put him against Houston. Like that's going to be a very good game to bounce back on. Perceivably, because this offense couldn't even put up points. They got shut out against the Detroit Lions. So like in one half. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. But even at 4-6 though, what exactly are you playing for? Because I don't see us getting no playoff spot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't see us getting no playoff spot, bro. I don't.
Hey, look. A lot of people don't. You know over here we definitely don't. But we got to talk about it as these games go along. And respect them when they win. But that don't mean you have to really trust what you're saying. We never did, and that's kind of the unfortunate truth of the matter. I don't know. To your point, like what are you playing for? Coaches and players obviously have a better answer in terms of like their truth. Their truth is they want to make it to the playoffs. They don't care about reality. or what their reality is. Like you want to go against the odds, you want to beat the odds, and that's kind of where they are. Hawk, man, I appreciate you always checking in, showing the Trapper some love, giving your words on this platform, man, and your voice on the platform.
Always, man. I just appreciate the platform, man. Morning Trappers, man, on the Trapper Dive morning show.
Yes, sir. The Morning Trappers, man. You take care. Enjoy your work day, bro. Stay safe. All that good stuff.
Man, back at you, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace.
All right, peace. They go to good man Hawk checking in. Let's close out with a couple of the comments. As always, too, just understand this. always, man. Anytime you want to call in, anytime you want to get your voice up here, man, you definitely got the floor to do so. We put the links in the stream. All right, so here's the last thing. A couple comments we'll clean up on. Can St. Juice travel with AJ? Do you trust that matchup? I do. I think that one of the bigger tests for Benjamin St. Juice was Justin Jefferson. And what do I mean by that? That moment for him to travel with Justin Jefferson was essential, because if you can trust him in one instance, like, remember, they didn't put Benjamin St. Juice didn't travel with AJ Brown that first game, right? Like, he was replacing William Jackson on the outside because William Jackson couldn't play. And I think that was more so a test of, can he handle like playing outside corner? Like, can he play out wide, right? And for a person who was solid in the slot before William Jackson got hurt and then was able to even perform better on the outside, that is what makes a person, meaning a coach or a coordinator, confident in the fact that, okay, I think he can travel. I think he can play in other, I think he can hold his own against other teams' number one receiver. So I think his biggest test was against Justin Jefferson, and there wasn't many cornerbacks on this team. Like, the last person was Josh Norman, and I'm not saying he did a great job at it, right? But there's not many cornerbacks on this team who traveled. Josh Norman did it a lot in his first year. He was hit and miss, right? But he did it a lot in his first year. That was the last cornerback I can sit here and say that traveled. And if you can have Benjamin St. Juice travel against the team's number one cornerback because he's so versatile, he can play in the slot, he can play outside, you have a person who's capable of really doing damage for your defense in a good way. So, yeah, I do trust that matchup. I do trust Benjamin St. Juice being able to hold his own and win some battles against A.J. Brown. He has to be a little bit more physical than he was in that first game, right? Especially inside the red zone, you have to be much more physical. Third and shorts, you have to be much more physical, because, like, he's a slant guy, especially in situations where you need like a few yards. He's gonna run that slant, and the reason why he's gonna run that slant is because he's physical and he know that he's gonna have that opportunity. Like, that ain't no secret. He's always run slants. So in backside digs and things like that. So, like, that's gonna happen. I do trust Benjamin St. Juice to hold that matchup down. Okay. This is still hilarious. Scott Turner is the worst mistake in football. That is so hilarious. Where are we at? If we get embarrassed, he could be on the table, but who else can call the plays on offense? That is also true. Look, like, it ain't really, who else can do it? That's an excellent question. And Scott Turner is a name. I'm not saying he a dog, but he a name. And that's probably something else too. Like, I don't think Ron gonna do it because Scott Turner is a name. Wentz is gonna send us into the gutter. Rich said if Wentz is the starter, I'm out for the rest of the season. Look, man, I saw somebody, I forgot who it was, said Howell needs to come in. Look, again, and I've said this, I've consistently said this even before the win streak started. If you're 2-6, 2-7, 3-6, 1-8, then Howell's in play. But these guys are still playing for the playoffs. That's the unfortunate truth, but it is what it is, and we ain't going to sugarcoat nothing over here, right? I don't know about this, dog. You know what? Yeah, I don't know about this. I think Taylor Heineke is more efficient in this offense from a processing standpoint. I'm talking about processing, so that's mental. That's not necessarily physical. I think he's the best quarterback. Wentz is like light years behind, and I think he showed that much in the first 6-7 games before he got hurt. Better put some respect on Heineke's name. Wentz don't need to take another step. We need to save our draft pick. It's over for him. Hey, try to convince that to Ron Rivera. I'm with you. Try to convince that to Ron. AJ is a grown ass man. That's for sure. I love the channel. I live in AZ, but I'm from Northeast. Yes, sir, Rich. Hey, my folk from Northeast, man. I grew up in that area, back and forth. North Capitol Street. That's where we from. On my mom's side, dad's side from Kenilworth. Well, my mom is from, and her family's from Mississippi, but they moved up to Northeast when she was born, actually. So we got ties down south, ties up Northeast in Kenilworth. But yes, sir, appreciate you checking in. We are here. Matter of fact, I guess it's a good time too before we close out, Rich. We are here every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday, 7 a.m. for the Washington Commanders morning show. Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can catch the Trapper Dive podcast with myself, Dre, AJ. You can catch us at 7 p.m. Eastern, talking all things Commanders. And then Wednesdays, you can catch the All 32 side of Trapper Dive with my day one fellas, Rye, Nick, Rick, and myself. I'm talking all things NFL, things like that. So yeah, man. And then Sundays, immediately after the game, post game shows. So next week is going to be, oh Lord, we got the midnight shift. Oh Lord, should we even do the midnight shift, man? Since it's Monday night, we can just come back on Tuesday and talk about the game. Do we have to go live immediately after the game, bro? Where am I at? Okay, so yeah, that's the schedule. 13th and D. Just imagine what Wentz would have looked like with Z Smith. Yes, it would have. Look, hey, we in that boat. If you've been around since like week 3 or week 4, we've all been convinced that there is not a game on this schedule left where you can sit here and say that Washington is guaranteed to win or that they should win. It ain't one. The defense is playing good enough where you're convinced that, they can keep you in the game, but it ain't one where you say they should win. But yeah, there's our schedule. For everybody that's just checking in, appreciate everybody checking in. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff. The fellas will be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. I'll be back same time, obviously, because I am the host, I guess. And then morning show be back Wednesday, 7 a.m. sharp. Enjoy y'all day. Enjoy y'all evening, whenever y'all listening, whenever y'all watching, all that good stuff. We got work to do, man. Get back to work. Peace.